Well, first it was the president, then Twitter purged 70,000 accounts it accused of spreading harmful QAnon conspiracy theories. Now many are wondering, what about free speech?
Yeah, what about it? News 5's Jordan Vandenberg goes in depth to explain what the First Amendment does and does not do.
Everyone gives Mondays a bad rap, but Tuesdays are the worst. The First Amendment's awesome. It allows me to stand right here on a public sidewalk and tell the whole world why I think Mondays are better than Tuesdays. Generally speaking, the First Amendment is an absolute essential part of a well-functioning democracy, but in and of itself, it isn't absolute.
In some ways, I'm glad that we're having this conversation. So the high-profile nature of the president's account has made it so that we're all willing to engage in this and talk about these effects of censorship at this level.
The bans started Friday night, first with Twitter's indefinite suspension of President Trump's account. On Monday, Facebook purged from the platform content related to the phrase "Stop the Steal." Many have posed the question, what about free speech?
The First Amendment as a constitutional principle only constrains government actors.
First, let's get something straight. Twitter and Facebook are not the government. But when it comes to the broader implications on the First Amendment, Geronimo says there needs to be a discussion.
It is a sort of an overly simplistic answer in my mind to say, you know what, President Trump has no First Amendment rights to a Twitter account and we can wash our hands of this. I think that we should sort of examine closely the way that these platform speech policies are guiding sort of the policies that guide all of us.
Geronimo, the director of the First Amendment Clinic at Case Western Reserve, also says there are other constitutionally protected activities outlawed on Twitter and Facebook. But in general, he believes the moderation practices of these tech giants should be democratic, transparent, and accountable. Some lawmakers, including both Democrats and Republicans, want to go even further by examining or eliminating what's called Section 230.
Section 230 provides immunity for things that are posted by users on websites and also the website's efforts to moderate the content.
Passed during the days of dial-up internet, Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act protects companies like Twitter and Facebook from legal actions based on the content of its users. Section 230 also allows these companies to moderate that content, and removing that protection, Geronimo says, could have unintended consequences, even for the president himself.
So without the protections of Section 230, Twitter might delete his account a long time ago because he's arguably saying defamatory things, or at least things that might make the subjects of those comments want to file a defamation action against both the president and Twitter. If they were to be held liable for absolutely every one of those posts, you can imagine that they would have some incentive to put up, large roadblocks.
The First Amendment is undoubtedly vital, but knowing its limits are sometimes even more so. In Cleveland, Jordan Vandenberg, News 5.